Why did we go at night? We went at night because of two reasons. First and foremost, we wanted to ensure that we were observing COVID protocols. And as you have seen for yourselves, it would have been impossible to go and do what we did today during the day because of the number of people who would have been out there. It would have made that very difficult for us to be able to do the job we want to do and at the same time observe the COVID protocols that as a government we have put in play. So that necessitated that this kind of action needed to be done at night. Second was we also discovered that Nairobi hospitals opened at 8 o'clock in the morning and were closed at 6 o'clock in the evening. Meaning that therefore, those few hospitals that were actually available within the city of Nairobi, if somebody got sick or was in need of medical attention, it meant that if it was after 6, the only facility they could access, again, was Kenyatta National Hospital. So we decided that it was important that these hospitals that we are building operate on a 24-hour basis. And as a result, this is what we also wanted to see, whether it was possible, both from an accessibility point of view and a staffing point of view. And one of the things that we have established is that for the 19 hospitals that we are now opened in Nairobi, we have employed 2,000, almost 500 people to man those hospitals, but we need additional staff, which is one of the things that came out of this evening's tour, in order to be able to ensure that those hospitals are operating 24 hours and that day or night residents can get service and they only need to be referred to Kenyatta or to Mama Lucy when the cases are serious. So we are decongesting the big hospitals that we have by providing services where Mwananchi is. The other thing we also wanted to see was the roads. We are embarking on a program right now where we are doing 400 kilometers of roads in our inner cities. Indeed, as many of you may have noticed today, we have been able to travel in most of those informal, as they call them, settlements. And we have not gone through any. These are roads that we have been constructing over the last 1 year. And we intend to do about 450. And this financial year, I want to expand that to another 300 kilometers so that we are sure that whether you live in Mukuru wa Jenga or you live in Karen or you live in Muthaiga, you have the same services. We are also, with the support of the African Development Bank, we are expanding the sewage network. You also know the water network that we have done. Today, even in our informal settlements, there is no more issue of people having to pay what they used to pay, 10, 20 shillings for a jerry can of water. We have built those boreholes there. People are getting those waters. And what we are trying to do in this coming year is to now make sure that instead of going to one particular watering point, we are now also expanding the water connections, the piping, to ensure that people have access to clean water, people have access to sewage, people have access to health, people have access to roads, people have access to steamer, and so that at the end of the day, where 3/4 of our people live in a county that generates in excess of 50% of our GDP, all feel catered for equally, regardless, like I said, of whether they live in Muthaiga or Mukuru Wajenga, where we have just come from.